To start off tonight's topic, it is I didn't even realize this was a thing, but the question, should cheating be a crime? Now, again, I had no clue this was a thing. I apparently in New York, here's a tweet that says cheating on your spouse is no longer a crime in New York after Governor Kathy, and I am probably going to mess up her last name, Hochu, repeals the 117-year-old adultery law. Can y'all believe that? Did y'all know that adultery was a crime in the state of New York? So my question, should cheating in a marriage have legal consequences or should it remain a personal matter? Now I'm interested. I gotta look this up. What I want to know, what states is cheating illegal? Uh, this is interesting. Adultery is considered a crime in 16 states. That blows my mind. It is a felony in Michigan, Oklahoma, and Wisconsin. So all my Michigan, Oklahoma, and Wisconsin folks, I hope y'all are aware of this. It's a misdemeanor in 13 states and Puerto Rico. In Arizona, they have a special law. Adultery is a class 3 misdemeanor, which is the least severe class of misdemeanors. The maximum penalty is 30 days in jail, $500 in fines, and up to 1 year of probation. Can y'all imagine if I was living in Arizona? Like, what if you caught your husband cheating? He's in Arizona and he got to go pay $500 in fines and go to jail for 30 days, 30 days, and up to 1 year of probation. But it does have an asterisk. It's so important to read everything. It says in most US states, infidelity is not considered a criminal offense. Instead, laws focus on legal matters like property division and divorce proceedings. However, infidelity can still affect divorce settlements, including property division, spousal support, etc., etc. Wow, I did not know that this many states had adultery laws. Like, I'm in the state of Texas, so hmm, doesn't look like Texas is on this list. Anyway, go do your research. This is wild to me that it's a felony in Oklahoma, Michigan, and Wisconsin. That's a little concerning. Uh, my take, I think the government is a lot of times in our personal space more than I think they should. And I really think that this is one of those uh issues where I feel like this is more of a personal matter and not something that the state should come in, because again, there's forgiveness. What if you decide to forgive your spouse, but it makes it even more difficult to forgive that person when they're sitting in jail or they have to pay this fine? Again, it's a personal matter. I And then my question is if I put this person in jail because they cheated on me, what is the trust and communication going to be like? I think all of that will be affected a lot. I mean, how could we how could they even put things in place to prevent cheating so that you don't go to jail or don't pay a fine? I think more than anything, it would create more problems, more issues. Maybe I'm wrong. Tell me, do you think that putting these laws in place would cause even more division and more issues among the family? I mean, free said, "Hell yeah, free." If you are available, which baby, free free has been living his life. I am not mad at him, but free, if you are available, come jump on in. I always got room for you, baby. But Free said there are some very invasive laws out there. I agree. He also says that Oklahoma has crazy laws on the books. I I'd be interested. I really would, to see what other outrageous laws. And I'm sure this was a law for a reason. I'd have to find out, like, why did this law come about? What prompted them? Because I know, you know, before our time, marriage was more about being able to identify who the land would go to, who the family heirlooms, who would they go to? And marriage was created to identify who had legal rights to said person's things. And I'm wondering if it became a law because, we gotta figure out now, what if a child was born out of wedlock? Now you gotta incorporate them into the things. I don't know. It's crazy. Free said, I wish they were more enforced. Mm, okay. Yes.
Hey,
Good.
man, you said it. Living life. So when I make my return this year, we finna have some fun.
Come on, baby.
We
I,
gonna have some
I'm I'm ready. I am ready. Y'all, Free has, man, hats off to you, especially being an example for others.
man. I'm
Y'all
trying.
check out his Instagram. He is doing it. I am like, okay, when I grow
Wait,
up, I'm gonna be like Free.
wait till you see next week.
Oh, uh-oh. Mm,
Yeah,
mm.
yeah. But
Okay.
so I'm in agreement with the laws being on the book. And your question was, where did they come from? Thinking they came from the good book.
I mean, that is one and only out per the
Because
Bible.
yeah, because even back then, the only the only cause for divorce biblically, if someone cheated.
Mm, you're
So
right.
I mean, and then if you look at sodomy laws, come from the Bible. How do
Ooh,
you even know what's going on in somebody's house? Why is that a law?
that that's another great question. Like, how you gonna know?
So my dad, very crazy, kind of like me. He says those laws are only enforced. So for instance, um, You see those sex sent me to the ER type situations,
Oh.
and then they find out, oh, you were engaging in. So after you get out of here, you can go sit down. So I I like the laws. I don't think they will cause more division. I, I think they should be enforced more, and we probably wouldn't have as loose of relationships that we have out there. If you know there's a consequence,
Interesting. I I do have to agree. But then we get to the point of the whole judgment portion of it. How do we identify, this person needs just a fine or this person really needs, 90 days jail? Like what is considered like a heinous adultery case? You know what I mean?
now
Is
I
it
think
because they had multiple women or is it because they were with this mistress for multiple years?
mm, I, I think it should be left up to the spouse that got cheated on.
Oh,
Because you said earlier, what if they forgive you?
yeah.
So you have to look at that side of the coin too. You're only saying oh because you're thinking about the negative thing that the other spouse could do that got cheated on. What if they
Yes.
say, you know what, it should be
You know
left up to
what?
me?
All I can think about is a lot of these cases where, and I love my brothers, where these women are taking these men to court concerning their kids and just raking them across the head.
And you also know what was even worse about that though. So as a man, if you don't know that that's your baby, that baby comes
Mhm.
into the world. And speaking of Texas, I don't know about nowhere else. Your baby comes into the world. You don't know if that baby is yours, and you agree. There is nothing you can do if you find out later that that kid is not yours. So there definitely should be a consequence for that.
Mm.
I'm of the opinion stone him or her.
Or her, yeah, yeah, because it goes both ways.
Absolutely,
It
absolutely.
goes both
You know
ways.
what? I hope that's a phrase we can lose in 2025. It goes both ways because that should be the natural assumption. My grandmother always said, "What's good
Mm.
for the goose is good for the gander." So what's good for the men is good for the women. We try to separate so much stuff instead of saying, "What is it that we have in common?"
Hmm.
We're humans. So some of this stuff is just human factor. It ain't got nothing to do with being a man or a woman because men and women cheat. So what do they have in common? Well, we're humans. So neither one of those are worse than the other. So both of y'all got to get it.
Ah,
That sounds fair to me.
I I can't be mad at you. I really can't.
so
Um, this is very interesting.
so
Um,
real quick, you gotta excuse me. I'm in the store. I'm shopping because y'all see that little winter blizzard y'all about to get.